Nastya, and I really like the quotation that when you accept your limits, you go beyond them. That's why I really like being here today, because I love challenging myself. So, some days ago, I found a word that had two translations, both freedom and captivity. And honestly, it has only catalyzed my thoughts about the purity of the definition which freedom is. And I should also confess that I have always thought that freedom is still somehow limited. So today I'm going to tell you about the paradoxicalness of such a phenomenon which freedom is. So do you consider yourself to be free? I personally yes, but only in some terms, or should I say, as my political and civil status states. And as I'm a relativist, I feel free in different ways under various circumstances. And recently I asked my friend a question of what freedom means to her, and she said to me that being free is not only having the right to express your ideas freely, but primarily don't dwell on what is accepted and approved by the society. And I guess it is extremely wise because it reflects the idea that we may be formally unbound in numerous circumstances, in numerous cases. For instance, it's an open secret that citizens of Ukraine are free and they have an untouchable right to stay. They have an unquestionable right to stay untouchable in their faith, in the hobbies they choose, in the jobs they occupy, in the self-expression. But our reality is still somehow different from everything which is officially asserted even in the most fair and ideal constitutions of the world. So I do believe that in the real life we're still somehow dependent. When we wear, for instance, a pair of yellow extravagant trousers, we just wait for the reaction of other people. And no matter how hard we try to convince ourselves that we are not affected by those bad comments, we still wait for the reaction of the society. And we may wait maybe for a wave of condemnation or a bunch of positive feedback, but we are affected by those comments and by those reactions which people give for our behavior. I should also say that we are limited in our minds and hearts by those fear of reactions to our actions. So unfortunately, the subjectivity of some people's perception of the world and life is what creates those boundaries in our world, and don't let us just feel liberated even in the most democratic nation. For instance, one day we may be taught that everyone is beautiful, another day we are overwhelmed with a bunch of those stereotypes created by trendy magazines. Recently, I bought a new issue of Cosmopolitan magazine with Ashley Graham on its cover. By the way, Ashley Graham is a model who is now called plus size, and I should say that I was extremely surprised by it and thought, wow, what an unusual and beautiful phenomenon for our Ukrainian mentality. And I should also mention that being free, however, and letting others stay liberated is extremely hard and complicated, and it usually comes with a great piece of courage and self-work, and a long-term fight against submission, against alienation in the crowd, where your opinion is the one drastically different. And I should say that independent person is definitely a rebel who is ready to be a talented creator of his own life path, and the life path which is not defined by others. And you know that our planet Earth is spinning around with a linear speed of 1,764 kilometers per hour, and it is how fast our world is changing. And I do believe that we are already on the path of new liberty, free from those prejudices and remnants of time. We are already on the path of accepting true beauty, free beauty, that is hidden much deeper than we are used to. And it's essential to remember that even the most ideal freedom ever written and ever described in the most ideal and fair laws won't taste sweetly and won't make sense as a whole till we just open our eyes for new perspectives.